Colleagues Ed, Chico, Ray, and Bill on the end there. And we have a really special guest with us for this segment. Miyamoto-san has joined us to talk to us a little bit about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Now, earlier on today, Aonuma-san stopped by and was talking to us about the different ways that this game kind of steps away from what people might think about as the traditional Zelda conventions. But what we'd love to talk about with you, Miyamoto-san, is how we're actually getting back to the roots of the original Legend of Zelda game here.
以前ゼルダの青沼さんに来ていただいて今回はゼルダの当たり前を見直したということなんですがそれに関して今回はそれもあるんですけどさらに初代のゼルダに戻ったというのも言えるんではないでしょうか。その点について
そうですねゼルダの当たり前を見直したって言ってとか壊すとか言ってるんですけど実はそれはゼルダがシリーズが積み上げられていってでタクトが出て使い物ソードになりっていう流れの中でどんどんとゼルダがもともと持ってた自由なアドベンチャーという部分が損なわれてシーケンシャルに遊ぶものに なりすぎた、それを原点に戻そうということでもあるんですね。
So we talk about reimagining the conventions of Zelda, but really as the series progressed, there's a lot of more added features, like if you look at the last Skyward Sword, and as we started doing that, we realized that the game was becoming more and more sequential, so what we really wanted to go back to was the original spirit of Zelda, which resides in freedom.
So we're starting this segment off. For those of you who maybe missed the morning segment, you'll see a little bit of the beginning of the game again, and we're doing that for a very specific purpose. But one of the things that we saw early this morning at the beginning was that once again the game starts by Link waking up, and I was curious why Link always wakes up to begin the game.
いやまず今日ね世界中でこの中継を見てもらってる人たちは経験することできないですからね、朝と同じようなシーンを何度も見てもらうことになるかもわかんないですけども、今言ったように本当に裸で始まります。で最初のゼルダもね何もないところから始まったんですね。
As Bill mentioned, there might be a little bit of repeat, but there's a specific reason we're doing that. So, in the original Zelda, there was this, just like in the original Zelda, you start off with really nothing much on yourself.
初めてゲームを作った時にね当時スーパーマリオとかを遊んで出てきたゲームを遊んでクリアするっていうのに慣れてた人たちが一体何をしていいのか分からないってでモニターを撮るとすごくその意見が多かったのでその時まだリンクは剣持ってたんですけどもじゃあもう剣も外して本当に分からないところから自分で考えて遊ぶ遊びってことが分かりやすくしようというので剣を同時にくれるようにね変更したっていう歴史があるんです。
So, when the original Zelda came out at the time, people were used to games like Mario where you just play through the levels that come up as they come up. And we had feedback that, you were tossed into this field with a shield and sword and, weren't given any directions. So it was kind of confusing. So we thought, let's just take it all the way. We'll just remove the shield and the sword as well and start from there where the old man gives you the sword. That's what we did.
Mr. Miyamoto, it's interesting for us to see this now. I'm wondering if you could talk a little bit about your vision of 30 years ago with all the technology that's happened since and sort of the concepts and ideas that you've been able to see these teams develop now over that time.
技術もすでに発達して今のゼルダというのに関してもお話しいただけますか。
そうですね本当にこの世界そのものが再現されている昔のゼルダっていうのはイメージのイラストがあったようにこのイメージをイメージして遊んでくださいって言ってたのが今はそのイラストをはるかに超えるぐらい全部が本当に作られててその作られているもののところに直接自分が歩いていけるっていうすごい技術になりましたね。
So in the old Zelda, there's this image, an illustration that we started with, and you kind of had to put that in your imagination as you were playing along. But now you really don't need that illustration. This vast world ahead of you, it surpasses the illustration, and now you can actually walk and do things in this world that's come to life.
And I think we actually have that original illustration here from the original manual.
Yeah, it is.
Right, you see Link on the edge of the cliff. And what's amazing to me is when you take a look from the cliff edge, you can actually see the same mountain, those same twin peaks We have them right on screen here now in that original illustration here in the world of Breath of the Wild.
It's really interesting how that captures this sense of excitement, not only looking over this cliff, but also when you're on the edge of the plateau and you're just kind of looking at all this space that you really want to get to and explore.
And of course, as Miyamoto-san said, the NES game starts with an old man who gives you a sword. You start off in a field and you walk into a cave to get the sword. In this game, you start in a cave and you walk out into a field. So it's almost like it's reversed.
So Miyamoto-san, you mentioned the fact that it was a very conscious choice to not give the player a lot in the way of instruction or tutorial at the beginning of the original Legend of Zelda. Was it a similar reason that you didn't give a lot of story information at the beginning and you kind of dropped the player into this world without telling them anything about what's going on around them?
そのままフィールドに落とされてっていうことがあったんですが、それに加えてバックストーリーというか背景もあまり説明されてないので、そういう意味に関してもお話しいただけますか。
そうですね。どうしてもあなたは何でどんなところに置かれててっていうことをプレイヤーが理解するために最近のゼルダっていうのはいろんな人が出てきて説明してたんですね。でこれは本当に原点に帰って自分が何か分かんない状態から始まって本当に自然と接しながら徐々にヒーローになっていくっていうお話にできたので非常に前半の語りが少なくてどっちかというと自分が生きていくための技をいろんな探してる間にだんだん分かってくるっていう作りになります。
So in past Zelda titles, we've gotten to the kind of tendency where there's a lot of explanation by different NPCs to tell you who you are and what your role is. But we went back to the origins of Zelda, and to discover kind of who you are. You don't know who you are. You don't know what you're supposed to do, and you're thrown into this world. And as you're traveling and interacting with nature, trying to survive this wilderness, you learn who you are and what your role is in this big world.
One of the other things that I loved about the NES Zelda game was every time you walked into a new... Well, you started the game and you could just go off in any direction, which we see Chico doing here, heading off in a different direction from where I started from earlier in the game. But the other thing is that on every screen there was movement. Every time you entered a new screen, there were enemies on the screen and they were milling about or shooting arrows, or if they were Octoroks, shooting rocks. And you have that same sense here, but in this case, the movement is coming from the natural world. With the wild animals like the boars, you see the leaves kind of floating through the air, and you'll notice things like squirrels and lizards running around on the ground.
動きっていうのが敵だったんですけど、今回では動きもまた同じような動きがあるんですけど、それは敵ではなく自然のものであったりのが多いですよね。
森もね、ものすごく自然になって葉っぱの数もすごい多いですし、でこれ昔から我々8ビットのね平面のスクリーンを使いながらゲームを作ってきたけど、足音がそれらしく聞こえるようにいろんな足音をつけたりして雰囲気はですよ、もう本当に今絵もですけども音も含めてすごく自然に自分が自然の中にいるっていうのを書けるようになりましたね。鳥が鳴きましたね。
So just as you heard the bird there, in original Zelda, we were looking at obviously a 2D screen. That's what we were working with, and so to create some depth, we did things with the audio, like having different footsteps with different surfaces to create that depth. But now everything's there, not only visually but orally too. So it's really just it's almost like you're in the wilderness and you're just experiencing it for yourself. Chico, you're pretty good. No, please don't pressure me, Mr. Miyamoto. I usually stay far away and shoot with arrows.
Chico didn't have any arrows.
If I did, yeah, I would use arrows better. Haha, now I have it.
So I wonder, Miyamoto-san, if you could tell our viewers a little bit more about the extent of your involvement in Breath of the Wild and the kind of things that you've been involved in.
宮本さんの今作の
いつもと同じようにね、最近僕エグゼクティブプロデューサーってつくと思うんですけども、実はその都度いろんな役割をしてて、最近まではエグゼクティブプロデューサーと書いてあるんですけど、ディレクターと一緒にディレクティングをしているというところまで入ってたんですよ。今回はね、本当にリンクの基本的な動きとか自然とのやり取りとか、それから特に本当に自然に見えるかどうかという監修とかそういうところに徹してて、あとお金の手配とか 本当に現場がどんどん今一緒に作ってきた青沼さんとか藤林さんとかディレクターたちとそれからプログラマーとかデザイナーがみんなでこれを作ってくれてる。
So, I think my position will end up being executive producer on this title as well. But I have been in the past. But in past Zelda titles, I took on a lot of different roles as well. Even though I was the executive producer, I did a lot of things that maybe a director would have. But this time around, my involvement is really focused on just making sure that Link's movement is natural and his interaction with the environment, with nature, is natural, and that it's all a smooth experience. And really, all the details, I've left it really up to Mr. Aonuma and Mr. Fujibayashi, and of course all the designers and programmers. This is a really collaborative effort on everyone's behalf. And then I also look after the financials too.
I was actually curious, you mentioned when Chico was fighting the Bokoblin with the axe there that your approach would have been probably to shoot from a distance. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your approach has been as you play this game?
先ほど宮本さんから自分はこういうところが弓矢で打つとおっしゃったんですが、そういった違うゲームプレイができるということですね、このゲーム。
Before you jump into that, I just have to point out how much this reminds me of the original meat item in the original NES Zelda game.
It's gotten so big.
本当にね、さっき冗談で言ってた裸のままでガノンまで行こうかとかいう話をしてたんですけども、それぐらいどんな遊び方もできるようになってます。だから一人の敵ともどの武器を使ってもいいし、敵の武器を奪って使ってもいいし、本当に自分の武器が壊れてそうせざるを得ない時もあるぐらいいろんな戦い方があります。
Before this stream started, we were kind of joking around. You can probably take on Ganon with just as he is in the Noon, and you really can do that. That's how much freedom this game offers. So you can use all different kinds of weapons for all different kinds of enemies. You can take their weapons and use it against them. So it really does open up to any kind of gameplay style that you prefer.
It also opens up a lot of different possibilities in terms of how you want to approach things like combat or puzzle solving. In certainly the more recent 3D Zelda games, generally when you found yourself faced with a puzzle, there's one solution. Whereas in this game, even as we've been playing in the treehouse, we found that different people have very different approaches in terms of how they want to try to solve puzzles. And I think Chico is taking a slightly different approach here to how she wants to deal with some combat.
And actually, now we're here.
風がすごい吹いてるので、敵の方に燃え広がっていく。
So like you see here, the wind is going towards the enemies who just use the fire to take it back to where the enemy is.
We're just talking a little bit about how fire played an interesting role in the original Legend of Zelda as well.
That's right. This is, I think, the first time in a while that Link is able to use really fire as a weapon in a lot of different ways. In the original NES Zelda game, you could burn bushes and find things there. And I'm sure a lot of all of you probably spent a lot of time burning every bush in the game.
Just in case.
Especially Bill. Bill loves burning things.
爆弾も好き。
Yeah, he loves bombs too.
That's right. So I think maybe what we were going to do here is switch to a slightly different save data, and we're going to look at a slightly different area of the plateau here.
So I'm curious, Miyamoto-san, as we're moving on to another section of the game, it must be a really interesting experience having been involved in a series for this long and over this many iterations. Have you found that there are things that you wished you could have had in the original Legend of Zelda game that you've been able to realize over the course of the series?
今までいろいろなゼルダと携わってきた宮本さんなんですが、今回で、初代のゼルダでできなかったことを組み込みたかったっていうのはあるんですか？
いや現場のメンバープログラマー特にプログラマーとデザイナーたちがこう自然をそのまま自然として作り直そうということにすごいチャレンジをしてて、僕はこのネタがこうなるというよりそれ全体が理想的だなと思ってただけなんですね。だからこの部分のアイデアをこうして作ってくれと言ったことはなくて、現場がどんどんものを作っていくっていう感じです。
The programmers and the designers, instead of kind of trying to make one spec or one feature available, they try to really recreate nature as is within the game. And within that step, there's a lot of things that came up. And so there wasn't anything that I specifically requested. It all came from the development, or excuse me, the programmers and the designers.
でこう拡張していく、自然に大きなものが出来上がっていくという方にざーっとものが進んでいくんですけど、意外とそれができていくことで細かいディテールの部分が仕上がっていって、でディテールを見ると意外と新しい発見があるんですね。どうも動きそうな岩と動かなさそうな岩が見てなんとなく雰囲気で分かるとかね。
So now, as we're trying to create this massive world, we noticed that during that step, we realized a lot of the small, minute details are being polished as well. So when you're playing the game, you know there's all these details and things that you just kind of notice and stumble upon. For example, like when you look at pieces of rock or stone, some of them you kind of know that you can't move, and some of them look suspiciously movable, and you just kind of have this feeling.
I just don't have anything near me for. Oh, wait,
なんか見つけて
there's one.
I mean, it definitely is such a rich,
Maybe not.
immersive experience.
Ah, that's
It
too
feels
good.
so good. Bill bringing up the chunk of meat looking like the one from the NES reminded me of, that was one of my first great video game moments as a kid, was going into that cave scene, grumble, and being like, oh, okay, here's a puzzle. This is something to figure out. And then remembering, because I had the manual memorized at that point, because that was all the literature we had back then. I was like, oh, I bet you he's hungry. Oh, there's meat there. It's just like, like my first little light bulb going off. I still remember that moment very clearly.
初代ゼルダで肉を与えるパズルがあったんですけど、それを初めて解いた時に本当に自分の中でやったっていう感覚が出て、本当ゼルダのアイテムゲットのゴールになりました。
Yeah, and this was an example here again of, in the original NES Zelda game, sometimes there were those conspicuous spots where you knew you could place a bomb. In that game, sometimes you had to tap the wall to see if the sound was different. But here in Breath of the Wild, it's really interesting because they've done such a very good job, as Miyamoto was pointing out, of how the walls are designed in a way that they give you a little bit of a hint that maybe you can blow it up. But there have also been plenty of times where I've had to experiment and see if it actually can happen.
おっしゃったように見た目で分かるところもあれば、でも実際にやってみないと分からない。
そうですね、雰囲気で分かるところもあります。
Yeah, it's kind of a gut feeling you have when you look at it.
So I'm curious, Miyamoto-san, have you been surprised as you watch members of the dev team play this game, seeing the different approaches they take, or maybe them playing the game in ways that other members of the team didn't really expect?
開発現場を見てきた宮本さんの中で、開発者がこれをプレイしていろんなプレイの仕方があるんですけど、こういったプレイの面白かったとか、一般の人はこういったプレイをしないだろうなっていうプレイの仕方など見ましたでしょうか。
そうですね、まだ攻略しきれてないので分かんないんですけども、例えば馬をうまく使ってっていう馬を使って、どの乗り物でどういう武器を使って遊ぶとか、それからすごく上手になると時計を止める、スローにする、いやうまくプレーをするとスローになるんですね。そういうところをどんどん上手い人のを見てると参考になって。
So I actually haven't beat the game, so there's a lot that I'm still discovering as well. But I'm just looking at some of the development team play this, how they use different types of vehicles and what weapons to use when they're riding those vehicles, and then also like the horse basically. And also, if you're really good at playing, like you saw earlier, you can go into the slow motion effect. So seeing that kind of high level gameplay is really, I learned a lot from it.
からこの登るとかもあるんですけどね、ここ体力があるので登りきれないかもわかんないですけど、そう登る方法とか、登らずに裏側から行くとか、例えば敵の砦なんかでも正面から行くには裏側から入っていったり、だからこれからいろんなワープとかいろんな技ができてくると、いろんなルートが開発されるんですね。
So even with climbing, you got to keep an eye out for the stamina gauge, so you make sure that you have places to rest when you going up, or maybe you could just go all the way around and go from the back. And likewise, when you're maybe attacking the enemy camp, you don't need to go from the entrance. You can go back around and attack from the backside. So really, there's a lot that, and as more and more features get unlocked, there's a lot of more ways to play the game and solve these puzzles.
Now, Miyamoto-san, one of the inspirations that you had for The Legend of Zelda came from your early days in the Boy Scouts. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
はい。い 今聞こえましたそうですね昔ね最初のゼルダを作ってる時に、子供の頃ボーイスカウトでねいろんなハイキングをしたりそれからオリエンテーリングをしたりでそれで山の上に登ってその山の上にすごい湖が伸びすごい感動したことを思い出したんですねだからその頃の思い出でゼルダを作ったりゼルダを遊んでて思い出したっていうでそのシーンが今度はもうさらに拡大されて、山に実際自分が行ってあるところから、そこまでにしましょう
So, when I was a child, I was in the Boy Scout and I used to go do hiking and orienteering. And there was a time when I was climbing a mountain and it cleared up into this beautiful lake. And when I saw a scene similar to that original Zelda, it brought me back to that. And now looking at this Zelda, it's even more grander than it was before.
だからルートを攻略しながらこう山の上まで行ってでこっちへ行く目的地があるんですけどちょっとこっちにも興味があって行った時にいつ戻ればいいのかってだんだん自分で不安になってくるっていうけど意外とそれがね短時間の間にいろんなシミュレーションができるのがこの大地の魅力だと思います。
And when you're climbing a mountain, you have a destination, but then something strikes your interest, so you kind of go off the path. And then, there's a lot of interesting things out there, but then you start to wonder, wait, when am I supposed to go back? Am I going to be able to go back? But then that kind of feeling is recreated here. And what's great about this game is within a short period of time, you're able to really explore a lot, and there's a lot to explore in this.
And that's one of the things that I love about the game is that just like the original NES Zelda game, it's very easy to kind of wander off your path or get lost in the world and find yourself in an area where the enemies are way beyond your skill level.
Right.
And then you've got to decide if you want to try to fight it out or if you want to try to turn around and run back.
初代ゼルダのように自由に行けるのでちょっと強すぎるところにも行ってしまってどうやって戻るか分かんなくなる時も
そうですねこれあれですよね今チコさんうちわで仰いで
So, yeah,
この部のうちわで船を進めてますけどね
So Chico's waving the fan with the cork fan to move forward in the raft here.
こういう今度自分で進める引っかかってる
引っかかってますね
自分で進めるイカだっていうのはねこれ今物理で計算で引っかかってしまってるんですけども8ビットの頃からこうイカダに乗ったらスッと進むとかうちわで仰ぐとかいうネタはいろいろあるんですけども今回そういう漫画のようなこと嘘のようなこと漫画のようなことを全部本物の物理でやるとすごい新しい魅力があるんですねこんなこと起こるわけないですけど嘘のような本当をやる
Like when Chico is stuck there, it's because of the physics engine of this game. But then, obviously you can't actually swing a fan and propel yourself on a raft. And these are all kind of comic book-like effects. But taking that and applying that into a physics engine creates this whole new experience. It's very fun to watch.
Of course, in the original NES Zelda game, Link somehow had a raft that he carried around with him. But in this case, you'll have to find the raft in the lake and ride it across.
そうですねだから見つけたのにうちわを持ってないから慌てて取りに行かれて
You might find the raft and you realize, oh no, I don't have a fan, so you got to go back and go grab it.
I'm hoping that maybe working on this game has given the members of the development team maybe a budding interest in hiking and maybe joining you on a trip. I think like a dev team field trip sounds like it would be amazing once everybody's had a chance to play this game.
Some team building.
チームビルディング調査で開発でハイキング行ったりとかラフティング行ったりとか楽しそうですね。
はいそうですね
Yeah,
Maybe
that'd be
hide
great.
copies of the game and they have to go hunt them out on a mountain.
ちょっと難しいとこ受けました
Oh, the tough enemies.
Oh, Chico's on
Shake it
ice.
off, Chico, shake it off. There you go.
I had a cold leg. I couldn't touch.
僕はねこういう矢を使って戦うとかねするとね必ずその後で矢を拾って回る
When I use arrows to fight enemies, I always make sure to pick up all the arrows that I use.
特にミスして撃ったやつは後から拾って集めて
Especially the ones that I miss, I go back and grab them.
だから数が少なくなってくると敵にわざと撃たせて敵が撃ったやつを後から集めて回る
Or when I start running out of arrows, I let the enemy shoot arrows at me and then go and grab those and make it my own.
すごい慎重なプレー
I'm very cautious player.
It's a very economical.
Absolutely.
It may surprise you, but I'm somewhat of a reckless player.
見るその反対で
We've seen that.
We all know.
Chico's chopping up some firewood here.
I don't know if I have flint though.
This is actually one of the other things that I love about the game is that, certainly in the original 8-bit Zelda game, the team did an amazing job of using the limited color palettes and the limited graphics of the time to depict a very fully realized world with a lot of different terrain. And we see that again here in Breath of the Wild, but to an exponential degree. And when you see it just in the style of trees that we've seen so far, with the forest down below to the fir trees up here in the mountains, it's really impressive.
初代のゼルダでは限られた色と限られたグラフィックスでやってたんですが、それで実現された世界ですから、今回比べ物にならないぐらいいろいろな種類があって、木だけでもいろいろな種類があってすごい。
森に行くと本当に森のように見えるし、森に行くとキノコとかがたくさんあるんですよね。
So if you go to the forest, it really does look like a forest. You can get things like mushrooms from the forest.
おお、かかった。
It goes without saying, but it really is. This game is so beautiful. It looks so good.
本当に美しいゲームですね。
いいんじゃない
Yeah.
Yes, I'm against the current, so I can't go.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Miyamoto-san, since we were talking about the fact that you've been really involved in making sure that all the animations and the movement feels really good, I was wondering if you could talk a little bit about the temperature system and your thoughts on that, because that's really interesting as far as how it affects Link as he's traveling through the world.
先ほどリングが自然に動けるっていうのを監修されてたっておっしゃっていたんですが、温度に関してもどのようにリングが影響されるかについてお話しいただきます。
そうですね、これはもうほとんど現場のディレクターたちが作っていってるんですけども、山の上の方に行くと気温が低くなりますよね。そうするとちょっと暖かくなれるものを食べたらとかで、今度のゲームは服もね、ものすごい種類の服があるんですけども、それが暑いところと寒いところのために準備されてたり、それからそれを食べ物で補うっていうアイディアも入ってるんですね。
So this is actually an idea that came out just entirely from the directors and the development team. So for example, as you're climbing a mountain, the taller you go, the higher you go, the colder it gets. So you have to prepare yourself by eating food that gives you cold resistance. And this game has a plethora of different clothes that you can wear. And so that helps you prepare for any kind of environment that you're going towards. And then so there's a element of preparing yourself by having the right clothes, and there's also an element of preparing yourself by eating the right food.
I feel like this probably all harkens back to your Boy Scout days some way, yet again.
From the Boy Scout時代の
Being
思い出です。
prepared. Yes,
Yes, definitely.
yes, always be.
So I know the animation when Link's cold and you look at him and you just feel so
Oh, when he's
guilty.
shivering, yeah.
Yeah, I was just torturing him
Teeth
by taking
chattering.
his clothes off.
Yeah.
I actually noticed
ここでは
that.
脱がない方がいい。
So don't take your clothes off here.
Sure.
I think
people like
we were
that.
playing with it and they noticed if he wasn't wearing boots and he's cold, you actually see his toes get red as he's shivering and you're
足
so sorry.
Mr. Miyamoto, was there anything else you wanted to add in terms of the stories of the development of the NES game or anything related to this game?
初代の開発についてのお話であったり、今回の開発についてのお話だったりありますでしょうか、他に。
そうですね、いろいろ現場とやり取りをして、結構ね、僕は今度ね、食べ物の材料の種類とかすごい多いんですね。で、アイテムの数もすごい多いんです。で、それをこの組み合わせ、この組み合わせて、いろんな組み合わせを楽しむっていうのがみんな好きみたいで、僕それ面倒くさくて嫌っていうふうに結構対立しながら作ってたんですけども、だんだんと仕上がってくると、今までのゼルダっていうのはルピーを集めるんですけど、ルピー集めても使い道がないとか言われたんですけど、それがね結構厚みを持ったので、ルピーを集める以外のものも集めてルピーに置き換えたりしながら、本当にバランスのいいゲームになってきたと思いますね。
So as we're, there's a lot of back and forth with the dev team, and there's a lot of items, a lot of ingredients that you can collect. And I'm kind of a lazy person, so it's kind of a pain to mess with all that. And so there's a little back and forth with the development team. But as it's becoming more and more polished, I realize there's a lot of fun, a lot of joy to be had in there. And there's just really a lot you can do with all of the options that you have in this game.
And
Speaking of options, check it out.
Nice.
Nice moves, Chico.
Well, thank you, Miyamoto-san, so much for joining us and sharing some stories about the development of the original game and how this is kind of bringing us back around to the roots of the Zelda series. It's really cool to see how the two have been connecting. and hope you enjoy maybe taking a walk through the booth if you haven't already. Now that we've got everything up and running. It's very cool.
お時間ありがとうございました。
That's cool.
ありがとうございました。
上手でした
Thank you
You're very
so
good,
much for
Chico.
your time. And everybody else, thanks for joining us. Folks who are watching, please don't go anywhere. In a few minutes, we're going to come back and take you into another of the shrines that you can check out on the plateau. So please stay tuned.
Stick around.